Hey everyone, Happy New Year to you, and I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and New Year celebrations. It's the first day of the year, so I thought I would put some content out to help you move forward in 2020. It's going to be a big year, and normally at this sort of point, I would be going through all of my how to stay motivated and all these kinds of tips and things, but this year I kind of want to go a slightly different way with this. It's going to be a little bit tough for some people, bit of a reality check, but it's an important message and I think it needs to be said. And that is, as we all know, Christmas is a tough time of year. Let's be honest about this. It's all kind of got glitter on it and polished and all of this and all the TVs and stuff is on, but actually, it's probably the hardest time of the year for a lot of people, either because they don't have a lot of money, or because they're single, or because it's just very stressful for them. And it kind of brings up a lot of things, a lot of reality. And so a lot of people spend, and obviously there's the politics and things of families when they get together and people kind of running their wheels and their programs, and it's the same arguments and the same things. And we just kind of, we're on repeat. And that's going to be a bit of a theme of what I'm going to be talking about today. So people are generally depressed over Christmas, but they kind of snap themselves out of it and they think, right, New Year, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to set some New Year's resolutions. And I've already spoken to a few people and they're already sort of telling me what they're going to do, but I already know straight away. And this probably goes for most people, and it's a sad fact, that they just won't stick to it. And they won't stick to it. This is multi-layered now I'm going to go into. First of all, the way that they go about it is, it's this program, this patterns thing again, right? They run the same pattern every year. I would guarantee you that about 80% of the people, that's just a number, but a lot of people will set the same resolution every year. And they will keep sabotaging themselves every year. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, the way they're setting it, in the sense that it's the same program. So they're saying, right, I'm going to try, there's a word, it's straight away, I'm going to try and get fit, try and get healthy and all the rest of it. And I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about all of this stuff because I did a video last year, which you can look up. But, they won't set it properly. They won't spend any time sitting down and planning it. They will literally go, yeah, I'll get fit, I'll start going to the gym, I'll try and eat less crap, or whatever it is for them. And then off they go. And yes, for a couple of weeks, because of the Christmas blues and the fact that it was very painful for them, they're on it for a couple of weeks, months, whatever it is. And then just slowly but surely, their other patterns kick in, their other programs. And it just goes back to the same as that. And they've got nothing in place to make sure that they follow through with what they say they're going to do. They don't plan it. They don't even ask themselves, why are they doing it? Is this really, and this is what I want to get onto now, because when you actually set your intention and your goal for the new year, your resolution, 90% of the time, it's not actually going to solve the problem. What do I mean by that? I mean that it's a surface level goal. For example, someone says, I want to get fit. If they follow through, and some people do follow through, they're fit, are they then happy? Are they someone that wants to earn a certain amount of money and then they're happy? It's generally not where happiness comes from. But the reason for that is because a lot of people aren't actually facing the reality of what the problem is for them. It's like when someone comes into me and they say, I'm looking for the right job. And I know for a fact that most of the people that come into me, whether it's smoking, whether it's weight management, whether it's find the right job, find the right partner, that's not the problem. That's a symptom. They think solving that, having this, having that, is going to make them feel fulfilled, happy. But the truth is, if they get any of those things, it's not going to do that. because the problem goes a lot deeper than that. But here's the thing. Most people don't want to look at the problem, the real problem. Because, well, for two reasons. It's really painful. It's tough. But also, a lot of the time it's unconscious. It was a problem that developed, usually a belief, usually about themselves. And just, for example, forget that they've come to see a therapist or someone like me. They're at home, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. You have done everything except look at the real problem. You know, I went out and I bought a load of clothes. I got drunk. I kept busy and hung out with as many friends as I could. I don't want to be on my own. You know, I binge watch a whole series on TV when I get home from work. I drink a bottle of wine every night. All of these things are covering up the problem or pushing away the problem or not dealing with the problem. And what you do on New Year's Day is you say, okay, that was miserable. What am I going to do? And you'll default to your same things, but it's the same programs for your solutions as it is for the problems. And I've said this many times, and I'll say it one more time. We are unconscious 95% of the time. In other words, we're not consciously aware of what's going on. We're just running our patterns. You get out of bed the same way and all the rest of it. I'm not going to go into it. But the bottom line is this. Unless you commit to sitting down, and a lot of you, this is going to be literally looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what is the real problem here? Not what's going to take that problem away from me on a surface level. What is the real problem, and what am I going to do to address that problem? And it may be a problem that you've been avoiding or putting off for your whole life. And that's why people need usually some support with that, because you can't solve a problem a lot of the time on your own, because you're at that level. You don't have somebody, you're in it. You can't see the wood for the trees. You're emotionally invested in it. A lot of it's unconscious, so you can't even get to it. And if you're not careful, you're just going to do what you always do. And if you do what you always do, you'll get what you've always got, which is basically you go another year, get depressed at Christmas, set the same goals, and around we go. Be honest with yourself. You know, invest in yourself. If you don't and this is the thing, I don't set New Year's resolutions. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm just saying that my whole life is an ongoing thing. Like I'm constantly trying to evolve. I'm constantly, like, God, you wouldn't believe, like, some of the stuff, and this isn't bragging, I'll give you this Christmas, I've been on a 3-week detox. I haven't been able to eat a carb, a chocolate, anything processed. It's been tough. And I'm not doing that to punish myself or to be a monk or something like that. It's because I want to be healthy next year. It's the quietest time of the year. There's no clients, the colleges are shut, all of that kind of stuff. I get to focus on myself. So I've had a 3-week, I've gone to some therapy. I've got some therapy for myself. I've been to see spiritual guidance to learn how to meditate deeper, get some more skills, how to ground myself, got some Reiki healing. I've been exercising, I've been writing courses, you know, I've been doing so much stuff for me. And I do that all year round. Christmas more because I get more time to do that. But this is my point, and that's just the short-term plan. Like, it's about getting mentally, physically, and spiritually healthy so I can be the best person that I could be to help my clients and other people. And I have an even bigger plan than that, which is, you know, it was a long-term thing, which is I was going to get trained, I was going to change careers. So I got trained, I focused on that, then I focused on how to start my business, which I did. And then I looked into how am I going to leave the day job and do that full time, which I've now done. Now it's about focusing on my health and my getting rid of all of my past skeletons and everything like that, so I can then live. And next year is going to be about living and applying all of that and developing up and up, and it will never stop. And I set aside time and focus, and I plan, and I have a routine, and it's set. So there's no way I'm going to let that slide. There's no way I'm going to. So I'm not saying this to brag or to make you feel bad or anything like that. It's just the point I'm trying to make is you've got to get focused. You've got to actually take a long, hard look at yourself and say, what is the real problem here? You know, and stop using the same old excuses and the same old things. But here's the thing, like as well, it's stress. It all comes down, like most people's problems are the same, right? On some level, they either don't feel good enough, they don't love themselves, or that they're stressed, right? When any of those three things are in the mix, it doesn't matter what goals you set. It doesn't matter what New Year's resolutions you have in place. You're going to sabotage yourself again and again because you're not dealing with the real issue. And on some level, you will feel that you don't deserve to be happy. So is it that you're in the wrong relationship? It might be, and that's probably because on some level you're letting that happen. You're not dealing with it because on some level that's what you deserve, or you're afraid that you won't get anything better. Are you in a job that you don't like very much? It doesn't matter how much money you're being paid. It's usually because there's a fear of letting it go, or it's very stressful. It all comes back to these three things, but no one's really looking at the problem, and therefore we're going around and around and around. So you don't have to do that by yourself, but it takes guts, it takes realism, it takes taking a long, hard look at yourself and then saying, okay, I've had enough. And people can sometimes go their whole lives around and around. How many times do you want to go around? We can put up with a lot of pain as human beings, but just ask yourself, when is enough enough? It's time to invest in yourself and to let this go. I promise you, my life gets better and better. Again, I'm not bragging. It's because I put the work in. What is the problem? What am I going to do about it? How am I going to put that into place? And then I do it. You take action. So make this your year. It's 2020. Seek some help, invest in yourself, or just be really disciplined with yourself. Keep conscious and keep checking in. Set a goal and stick to it and keep checking in. Make someone hold you accountable to it. Whatever it takes, but you can make this your year, but you've got to be honest with yourself first. So I genuinely hope that that's been helpful. Have a fantastic year, and if you need some extra support, I'm here. Take care.